Hi, Ann. My name is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
I'm the behavioral health provider here in the clinic. And the doctor asked me to come and talk to you for a little bit while you're done with your appointment. And wonder if you had time to talk with me just for a few minutes.
Yes.
About 20 minutes. Okay. So, what brings you in today to the office to see the doctor?
I went to see the doctor and to go over me getting some anxiety medication.
Okay, Ann. So you came to the doctor and you were requesting some medications.
Yeah, I don't know what kind particularly, as I've
Mhm.
just been feeling some anxiety lately, so I came in to talk to him and see what he can do for me.
Okay. And the doctor let me know that he was going to just postpone or delay getting you the medication. He told you that for a little while so that maybe you could work on some other things, possibly cutting back the alcohol use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how things have been for you and why you're feeling a little bit more anxious now.
A little bit more stress at work, home, I guess everything, throughout the day. And with the kids and my husband, and again with work, I work at a bank, so it could be fast-paced environment. They're going through a merger, so we're trying to get all this paperwork ready, and I just feel like everything's coming at me at once. So I figured I'd go and talk to the doctor and see if I can get something.
Okay, what kind of symptoms have you been having?
I'll get like heart palpitations. I get kind of like a warm, kind of like a hot flash or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and some mild headaches here and there. Nothing that happens, all the time. Just when I start feeling anxious.
Okay, and how's it affecting your sleep?
I wake up a couple times during the night. I don't really have a peaceful sleep because I'm always worrying about something.
Okay, so you wake up throughout the night and you have a little trouble falling back to sleep?
Yeah, like when I first go to bed, I'll be fine, and then about 1, 2 in the morning, I'll wake up, and then by the time I do get back to bed, about 5 o'clock, I have to be up at 6.
Okay.
So there's always that constant cut in the middle of my sleep.
Oh, okay. And you said that you wake up sometimes and you're worried.
Yeah, worrying about what I need to do the next day, or worrying about what I didn't do the day before. So
Okay. So you actually feel like you're not getting enough sleep.
definitely.
Okay. And that sometimes when you wake up in the middle of the night, you have trouble falling back asleep because of the fact that you're having thoughts, kind
Yeah.
of racing thoughts,
Yes, constantly.
worrying.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes it really hard, and that's one of the reasons why you asked the doctor for some anti-anxiety medication.
Exactly.
Okay. What about feeling maybe nervous or restless at all?
Definitely nerves and restlessness. Yes,
Okay, so tell
kind
me.
of
Oh,
ties all into the symptoms there.
okay. Tell me, how much are you drinking?
Well, when you buy a bottle of wine, you really don't know what you're drinking. I mean, you are because you have a bottle, but
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say like a half bottle a day.
Okay.
Sometimes I, go back for a little more, but
Mm-hmm.
it's usually, a half bottle.
So how many glasses do you think you have at
I
any
want to
one
say
sitting?
maybe 3 glasses. I'm not quite sure how many glasses are in a bottle.
Okay. And how big is your glass? Kind of show me, what does your glass look like? Is it a small wine glass like
Yeah,
in
it's
the
not.
restaurants, or is it a little bit bigger for the
No,
red
it's
wines?
probably about like this. It doesn't have a stem.
Oh, okay. A stemless glass.
Yeah, it's a stemless glass.
Okay, and how far are you filling it up?
I want to. Well, it's about this, so I want
Mhm.
to say it's like 3/4.
Oh, okay. And you might have 2 to 3 of those.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe sometimes you'll go back and have one more glass.
Yeah, but for the most part, no. But sometimes, yes.
Okay. And has your alcohol consumption increased as you've been feeling a bit more stressed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How
And
long?
over the years, I find, because back in the day I didn't drink at all, and then, you get together with some friends and they start drinking wine, and then you're like, oh, I really like this, and then you start finding yourself buying bottles of wine just for yourself instead of socially drinking, and then it kind of increased, over time.
Okay, so how long have you been drinking in the evening at home?
I want to say probably the last 6-8 months.
Okay. And you find that the alcohol helps you de-stress after a long day and after
Yeah,
you
it
get
gives
the
me
dinner done?
it gives me a calming effect. Yes.
Nice. Okay. All right. And do you feel like it's possible to cut down on the alcohol at all?
Yes, I could, see if I can do that instead of reaching, if I drink a half bottle, try not to reach for the next,
Mhm.
just kind of telling myself, that's enough. Or instead of 3 glasses, maybe doing 2, or even not filling up all the way, maybe,
Mm.
halfway instead of 3/4 of the way.
Okay. And the one thing is that statistically, if you drink 3 glasses or more in any one sitting, that is considered heavy drinking for a woman.
Oh, okay.
hmm And so we try to give you this education to help you understand that it's any one sitting. It could be all evening or part of the day or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. And also, so the doctor feels strongly that if you could cut down on the alcohol consumption and drink a little bit less, that maybe he might be willing to give you the anti-anxiety medications.
Okay.
Okay, and part of the reason is because alcohol can actually contribute to anxiety. And so maybe he wants to see if it's possible that your anxiety level kind of goes down on its own or if it's still there when you cut back on the alcohol.
Yeah, I think that's why I wasn't really apprehensive talking to you, because I came in here looking for help,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hoping that if I don't want to be on a drug and then continue to drink, because I know that's not really health, a healthy thing to do for your body. But if I were to cut back on the drinking and get my state of mind to a normal, and if the anxiety's still there and taking the medication, maybe that route instead of always assuming that a half bottle of wine is going to help me.
Mm-hmm. So you've been thinking about cutting back your drinking anyways.
Yeah, like I said, I came in hoping to get something, and hopefully that won't deter me from drinking.
Mm-hmm. So I hear you saying that I hear you saying that you kind of considered possibly cutting back on the alcohol use because you know that you've been drinking a little bit more than you had before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if we think about cutting back, would it be possible to maybe cut back to only so many days per week, or how do you think you want to do that?
I can. I would try and see if I can cut back. Like over the weekend instead of and then maybe maybe 1 or 2 times during the week not drinking.
Okay.
I feel like since I'm in Monday through Friday kind of thing, working and
Mm-hmm.
with the kids and the family, that's kind of like my stressor during the week. Where the weekend is it not really a little bit less stressful because work's not involved at that time.
Okay, so the alcohol is helping you relieve the stress when you get home from work in the evening. And
Yeah.
after you get the family settled down and you get a chance to sit down at dinner or after dinner.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you normally have your alcohol with the dinner and then after dinner?
I normally have my alcohol after dinner.
Oh, okay, so you'll eat dinner, you'll sit down, and then when the kids and the family go to do their thing, then you go sit in the front room or do something where you can have a little time to yourself.
Yes.
Okay, does your husband join you?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's
So-
more of a social drinker. He's not one that drinks at home. Definitely not a wine drinker. If he drinks when he goes out, it's either, some kind of mixed drink or beer. But yeah, he doesn't drink at home unless he has like friends over or whatever, watching a game or something.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you feel as though you could cut back on the alcohol. You're willing to do that for the doctor and for yourself. And that also you might consider first starting to cut back on the weekend where you have a little more time to do something else to de-stress
Yeah,
as
like
opposed during the week.
like going walking or something, or just something else, versus when you get home, most of your days consumed with most of my days consumed with work and kids and stuff. And then the weekends, they aren't as consuming. You know, I can get out and do something else and try not to. And if my friends have any get-togethers, I can not keep drinking. Because the one thing I kind of found when I was with the women that I was just started, drinking wine, it just seemed like it was just like, oh, a bottle's empty, let me get you more. Or they had a big bowl of sangria, so you don't even really know what you're drinking. You just always fill your cup up. And then it gets really, you can get really, drunk without even realizing it because it sneaks up on you all at once. So cutting back on those environments, I think, would be helpful as well.
So you still want time with your friends, but you want to find a way that you're not drinking quite as
Yeah,
much.
because I find myself that it's all about this wine thing and these charcuterie boards and the wine and all that. It's just, and like you said, 1 minute you're drinking and then somebody, oh my God, your cup's empty. And when you fill it up again, and nobody really takes the time to realize, oh my gosh, what did you just drink? Because
They're not paying attention.
Not really, no one's paying attention. So, where beer, you can see visibly the cans or whatever, but all you see is an empty glass when you consume your wine. So
tell me, what kind of things have worked for you before to help you de-stress? What has been helpful for you?
Walking. I go walking a lot. To different, parks or forest preserves, bike riding. I feel like exercise is, something that decompresses me a little bit.
How much have you been able to exercise recently?
Not a whole lot. Like I said, I'll go walking by myself at a park or something, but I feel like I might look into joining a gym or something because your instructor or whoever is teaching the class is keeping you focused on being there. Where if I'm walking somewhere, I might, walk around once and I'm like, my self is talking myself out of it and like, okay, I'm done. I'll, go in the car or whatever. But if I have an instructor, that's somebody that's keeping me on task and wanting to do, and then obviously you're paying money for that as well. That's another motivator.
Right. So it's the accountability.
Yeah.
So you know that person has the class once a week or maybe twice a week, and they look forward to you being in their class.
Yes.
And you would begin to do that. What has gotten in the way of you exercising recently?
Well, during the week I have, obviously work, and then I have, my two kids and with their activities, and by the time you do dinner and whatnot and homework, there is no time to do anything. And then in the morning time, again, it's, getting everybody up, getting ready for work, school, taking them to school, and then going to work. So, and I only get a half-hour lunch at work, so that's really not anything that I can do anything with. If it was an hour, I'd have a half hour to eat and a half hour to go outside and walk around, but a half hour isn't going to do anything.
Okay, so
and they really don't. They don't really have anything right there at the work location to do anything either. So.
Right. So it's best if you could have your exercise after work or on the weekends or even early in the morning, but not during the workday.
Yeah, definitely not during the workday. Okay. And that's something, if I wanted to do anything at work after work, I would have to, check with my husband saying, okay, do you have this going on, because I need to do this. So, but like I said, the weekends are a little bit more free time for me.
So you feel as though you could start with the weekend, that might be a place that you'd be able to cut back on the drinking. Why is that?
Because, I'm not sitting at home where, during the week I'm sitting at home because there's not really anything for me to do because I'm tied at home. Dinner, dishes, kids, laundry, homework, all that. And then I have that window where, okay, I can sit down, watch a little TV, drink a little wine. Where on the weekends, I feel like, I don't need that. I can go out, and do something a little bit for myself. I'm not tied at home because I feel like the drinking is more or less I'm doing it at home. So if I can get away from home on the weekends, it would, lessen me to do that.
Okay, so the one thing about drinking in the evening is it kind of becomes a habit, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And you find yourself drinking most evenings during the work week.
Yes.
And if you're doing something on the weekend other than being with your friends, then you might be distracted and just be out and about and maybe doing things with the family.
Yes.
Okay. How is the drinking impacting your life, do you think?
I can see it starting to slowly impact my life. I don't think it's 100% impacted my life. That's why I reached out to the doctor and hoping I can get some anxiety medication because I don't want to be, I don't think I'm an alcoholic and I don't want to ever get to that point. So I'm hoping by, having the doctor prescribe me some medication and then somebody giving me some coping skills other than, you know, some wine that, hopefully, that'll do it too. And trying not to, even if I go to one of my sport activities now, the moms are out there and they're drinking and you're like, oh, I don't see anybody drinking, but moms are putting wine in, like their Yeti cups or whatever. So I tried not to get into that kind of a crowd either.
Okay.
So I'm looking to try to get away from that because I don't want to be known as, I don't want my kids growing up with an alcoholic mother. So
Okay. So you're concerned that maybe you might start drinking too much and that your children will notice. The family will notice a difference in you.
Yeah.
And it's important to you to not have your children be exposed to that or even feel that you're not there for them or that you are drinking too much.
Yeah, like right now I'm just doing it after dinner. I'd hate to have it like as soon as I get off work I'm drinking a glass of wine or whatever. So I haven't gotten to that point. Thank goodness. So
or even over the weekend when you have that free time.
Yeah.
So it seems to me like when you're on the weekend and you're busy with the family and you're distracted with activities, you're not drinking as much.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it sounds like you're willing to, make some changes in your life and start kind of small. And one of the impact that you notice that you've been drinking is it hasn't really helped with the anxiety.
No. I mean, it kind of takes the edge off or whatever, but that anxiety is still there.
And then the next day, do you feel more anxious when you get up in the morning sometimes?
Sometimes a little bit, not too much. I'm not really, it's not like I have the jitters or whatever, and my personality starts to change or whatever.
Okay.
So, but no, I just feel like the anxiety, is still kind of there based on everything I have going on in my life.
Right. So part of the reason when you get up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep because you're worried, that's a symptom of anxiety as well, where you just wish that maybe you could get some rest.
Yes.
And not getting enough rest is just making you feel very tired during the day.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's getting in the way of doing the things you want to do. Okay. So you're willing to make some small changes. I thought, why don't we just start kind of small? You mentioned that you thought you could cut back and not drink on the weekend unless there is, some sort of activity with your friends or hanging out. And if there is there a way to go into that with the intention of how many drinks you'll have?
Answer,
Yeah, like, so let's say you're going to go out and meet the girls.
Okay.
Are you able to tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to have 2 drinks when I go out with the gals today?
Yeah, I could do that. And then if it's something that they feel like there is, a group of them is going to be out longer, I can always excuse myself and leave, or just, get some ice water or soda, something that's other than alcohol. So.
Okay. And then during the week, how many days of the week do you feel like maybe you could cut back? Because you
Probably
said
2.
Okay, so from the 5 days during the week and some on the weekend, you could actually slow down on the weekend, maybe cut back a whole day, and even cut back a night of one of the evenings after work from drinking.
Yes.
And what could you do instead of drinking?
Not too much because obviously I'm going to be at home, but try to focus on not getting that glass of wine in my hand. Try to do something else.
So would it be helpful to maybe learn some coping skills to help you manage the anxiety?
Yes. I mean, it's something at home, obviously, for me to do because it's hard for me to get out. So I would be interested in any suggestions someone can give me.
Nice. Okay, so the exercise helps. You like that, the idea of getting out maybe one of those evenings and going to the Y possibly, or one of the days on the weekend and going to the Y and trying to fit that in. You're looking forward to that.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so I think you've got a really good plan. We do have a social worker here in the building that's able to possibly see you to help with some of the coping skills. And then I think if the doctor sees that there is a chance that you can cut back on the alcohol, he may be willing to give you some of the anxiety medications because it'll rule out, that's making the anxiety worse or if it's still the same.
Yeah, I'm going to try my hardest because I think the medication would benefit me more than just, drinking a glass of wine.
Right, because you're really missing that sleep at night and the alcohol is not really helping with that.
No, I pass out when I go to bed, but then, like I said, waking up in the middle of the night and not falling back to sleep, that's not good.
Well, that's really hard to get through the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ann, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. One of us will reach out to you. We'll make an appointment and go ahead and start with your goals the best you can. And what we'll do is I'll talk to the doctor and let him know that you've made some goals to cut back on the alcohol use, and we'll move on from there.
Okay, and then I'll call the doctor's office to see when they want to see me next for a review over everything.
Yeah, it'll probably be probably 3 or 4 weeks, hopefully not that long.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.